Once he started realizing the dynamics of money, it's like, if I get another popsicle, that's another dollar or
Right.
$2. But he's like me; he likes that money.
So how can I get more?
Right.
Makes sense. That makes sense. So to a degree, if I'm understanding you correctly, to remove yourself from a generational situation, you have to remove yourself from almost the family aspect to find someone that has success in the field of where you're
Right.
going, or financial success, and,
Right.
and just to sponge off of them so you can gain information and knowledge and
Right.
resources, obviously, to move up.
Right.
From,
Mentorship.
and that's heavy. I don't have that ability. I would be looking for somebody like that for me to build. But at the end of the day, I think to answer G's question, that was perfect because it tells you, to remove yourself.
Mhm.
And that, I think that's, if I got from that correctly,
That's
that's the best way to do it.
That's
Good.
right.
V said, what is the best way to manage your money when you have more going out than you have coming in? That's a great question. I'm sure we have a lot of people here that are going from check to check. How do they get into a situation where they become into a debt situation where they're making money every 2 weeks, every first and 16th, whatever it is, but their debt or their money coming in, it doesn't equal what you need to push out. How do you manage that?
That's a great question. One misconception that society has of the African American community is that we're broke,
Yeah.
and we're not.
Yeah.
We spend $1.4 trillion. That's spending.
I believe it.
Not making.
I believe
spending. So, with that, you have to find what I call hidden money. A lot of times when we say, well, geez, I just don't have, like you say, I have more outgo than income. But we just got to find that money. It's there a lot of times. Now, I know on the surface, it's like, trust me, it's not there.
Right.
But, if you look at a Starbucks cup of coffee, for example, people is drinking $5 cups of coffee. Well, let's just say if an average person drinks a cup of coffee a day, that's like $25 a week.
Right.
And that's $100 a month, $1,200 a year.
Hidden money.
That same $1,200, but then when you stop and say that was just coffee, look at other things. Does little Johnny need a pair of Jordans and he's only 3 years old? That he's going to outgrow in 2 more months.
Right.
You see, so we have to start looking at things like that. And the biggest way to find out that money is you got to write a budget. We tend to have mental budgets, but we have to go old-fashioned and put it down on paper and actually see your cash flow and the pattern of your money flow. All right, this money's coming in. This is how many bills I have. What bill could I minimize? Do you have to have the UVerse 800 package, or could you give out the UVerse 200 package?
Right.
Things of that nature. So we just have to put it on paper and see where that hidden money is. But if not, if you are completely tapped out, that's why it's important to create a second source of income. Because when we're relying on W-2 income only, you're getting taxed up front.
Right away.
This is what's killing people financially. If you are taxed up front on your paycheck, then you get off work and you have to stop by the store to pick up some eggs, milk, cheese on the way home, you're paying tax again with already after-tax dollars.
Right.
So you're paying double tax.
Okay.
So the tax structure, the tax code was written for business owners, not employees. So what you have to do is figure out a way, how can I create a secondary source of income that's not a W-2 income, more so of a 1099 type of income. Now you're getting tax breaks. Because if you have an employee that makes $100,000 a year and you have a business owner that makes $100,000 a year, well, the employee is taxed up front. So that's 40%. You typically work from January to May for free, and you start getting your pay after that.
Right.
As an employee.
Okay.
But as a business owner, if you made that same $100,000, you travel, you spend, you buy inventory, products, travel, do whatever it is you do. At the end of the year, if you only had $25,000 left over of that $100,000, that's your taxable income. So you're only taxed on what's left over.
Oh, okay.
So that's the difference in dynamics of why there's a gap between an employed person versus a business owner.
Okay.
It's all about money. It's like, if I told you to go out and take a button hook to the left and you went to the right. Well, you took off, the ball was already in there. But you went to the right and to the left.
It's in there for you.
And there for you. So on the next play, am I going to throw it to you?
Oh.
No, because you don't understand the rules of the game.
You J.R. Smith, you just ran
there
out
you
of
go,
court.
you J.R. Smith.
You just ran out of court.
There it is.
The game was tied. You're supposed to put it back up. Yeah, I got you.
So if you don't know the rules of the game, you can't score in the game.
Right.
If you can't score, you can never win.
You're right. SeanJHarris.com. Make sure y'all go on and make sure you support this brother. We do have D-Tay thanks you for a response. She said she's amazing. Okay, sis, I see you too. My sister Nitra, she goes, man, that Starbucks. She said she really working extra 2 hours a month just to be able to drink Starbucks. But see, she working it into what she needs. So that's not creating debt. And that's why I appreciate her. She's always been amazing and take care of business, her and her family. I love them to death. But she handles her business. So she earned that. So it's like, she's doing what she needs to do just so she can have what she wants. Right. I think that a lot of people should do that too, but some people don't have that opportunity. And I understand
how to finance your wants.
Absolutely. But to what Miss D-Tay said, she said thanks for the response. What suggestions do you have for those who are ingrained in poverty that they do not know where to start? For an example, she has an example here for you. A mother or father who is on state aid and are barely making it. They don't have a support system. As an educator, she deals with a lot of families that are in this situation. How do you begin with them? So how would she basically reach out to them to give them the knowledge to uplift themselves out of that situation? State aid is a huge thing for people, and ironically, a lot of people don't know there's a lot more, and they think it's just a minority thing. It's a lot of non-melanated people that are on state aid, but they just don't, and it's probably more than we have, but we don't see it because we're the ones that are, I don't want to say inappropriate, using it, just using it to help each other, to help themselves, because sometimes it's not even enough then. Right. So what would you give her advice to those people for those people?
In that particular situation, a mentor is always key. Mm-hmm. Get with a person that can get you in the direction. It's kind of like I could get a book on Michael Jordan of how to play basketball. I probably still wouldn't do too good. Right. I can watch a video of Michael Jordan. I might help a little bit. But if I was actually with Michael Jordan, he can teach me some different techniques. So it's the same thing with business. And one thing I want to tell people, it's so much in books that you can learn about business and finance, and books are cheap. Believe it or not, you can literally go on Amazon and buy books for a penny.
And library card is free.
Yeah, library card is free.
Library card is free.
So, in a situation where a person is on state aid, you have to be able to find a niche or something that you're good at. Everyone has a marketable talent that people will pay money for. You just gotta find out what it is. Perhaps, and I'm just throwing stuff out there. Do you have a musical background? Did you play an instrument in school? What type of skills do you have professionally? Are you a carpenter? Do you know electronics? And if a person is to a point where they may be getting up in retirement age, let's say you're an HVAC specialist, why not come up and create an online HVAC class or teach classes?
Other than just offering your services.
Right.
Create services where you
become the
broker.
broker.
The people to do that same service.
Right.
Okay.
Because here's the thing too. I like to teach people how to duplicate or how to franchise themselves. And you're like, well, what do you mean when you say duplicate or franchise yourself? It's called folding time. Give an example. If you have a contract, I'm paying you $50 an hour for this particular contract. Okay. You sub out the contract for $30 to a subcontractor. You keep $20. Now looking at that, you're like, all right, maybe $20. But imagine if you had 20 people doing that. See, the thing with franchising, like with McDonald's keeps 4% of the profit. The franchisee keeps 96% of the profit. So let's say if this McDonald's made $1,000 a day, I keep $40, you keep $960. Now looking at that on the surface, you're like, dude, I'm getting the better end of the stick. But when there's 33,000 other McDonald's
all over the world
paying me $40 a day,
and you only got two McDonald's. Meanwhile, McDonald's got McDonald's on every corner in every country in the United States, in the world. Right.
So now you've duplicated, you folded time. So now you're compressing an 8-hour day into you're compressing 33,000 8-hour days into one 8-hour time.
Gotcha.
And you didn't have to expel time or energy.
Okay.
So that's what I recommend. Do one-on-one counseling to just kind of sit down and see what a person's particular dynamics are, and better tailor it for that particular need.
Okay, that's good. That's a good response. Thank you for that, and thank you for chiming in, G. We appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it here. Again, if you want to hit on a live, look at the meme of the week. We got that going on still. If you want to comment about a question you have for Mr. Harris, he can help you out. We're gonna keep going down this list we have on What the Wealth. Chime in. We on Instinct Radio. Feel free to come do what you got to do. SeanJHarris.com. I'm going to repeat it to the cows come home. Go to the website. Please go to the website. Support them. Let's look at something I think a lot of people are really concerned about. Let's talk student loans. How do you feel now? That's like we said, some people aren't made for college, but the ones that did choose to do that and follow a career. Because I have a cousin that went to college for free for 4 years because she knew she handled her business.
Gotcha.
Now some people aren't fortunate enough to do that. So speak to me a little bit about what they can do to better themselves. Because the student loan people want to come in and ask you for a ridiculous amount of money, bigger than car notes that they want you to pay every month. Lord knows you got a job that's giving you $35,000-$40,000 a year. You can't cover that and live.
Right.
Raise a family, start a family. You can't do anything with that. So what would you speak to the people as far as student loans? How would you balance that out? How do you? It's obviously hard to resolve. I mean, obviously you know that, but how do you give me a little bit of info on that?
I'm gonna give you two insights. I'm gonna give you an insight of how we can avoid student loan, and then those who are already in that situation. And I know there's a lot of people who are already in that situation, so I want to address that one first.
Okay.
If you're already in that particular situation, like we discussed earlier, you can have $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 student loan just to get out and make $100,000, just to get out and make $35,000, $40,000 a year. It's almost impossible to play catch up if you rely on a job to create finances to pay that back. So it's kind of like when people tell me, well, Sean, I'm going to school for business administration or business, whatever. Anything that says business in it, that does not mean starting a business. Listen to the words, business administration. It means you're administering someone else's business.
Right.
You should take classes that's going to get you towards business development of how to start a company. So if you find yourself in that particular situation, whatever it is you went to school for, find a way to create income through a business system of your own and not have to go work for someone else.
Based off of what you went to school for.
Right.
Okay.
Or any other skill that you have.
Okay.
It's kind of like, I have a background in aeronautics, in the Air Force, but I made money in real estate. So you have to burn the candle at both ends for a short period of time.
Gotcha.
Because you can put one in now.
Okay.
So with that, find how you're marketable. Find what your marketable niche is that you can create income from. Whatever you went to school for. If you're good at it, you probably can teach it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a college professional to teach stuff. Because, like I said, people are pulling back from school.
Yeah.
As far as the traditional.
It's a heavy rate. A lot of people are, absolutely.
Yeah. So one way I like to keep people from getting in that situation, if you're not yet in that situation, if you're getting to that point, you're making that decision whether or not you're going to go to college. And again, a paradigm shift we have to have in the African American community is when it comes to the military, we always say, I'm not going in no man's military. We got to get away from that. Here's why I said that. It doesn't even pass the common sense test to go to college and pay an enormous amount of money to go to college to have to pay back, but there's really no way to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the military, and I'm very partial to the Air Force. My wife is a Navy person, so she's probably turning over right now. Tell them about the Navy. But as far as for us, African Americans, score well in the ASVAB, get in the Air Force, Navy, or the Coast Guard. Okay? I'm not slighting the Marines, I'm not slighting the Army. It's just that we're looking at jobs, or skills, technical skills that you can learn, just tend to be a little bit better in those three branches in that particular order. But here's why I say go to the military. If you go to the military, you get to go to school for free while you're in. As many classes as you can take.
Wow.
There's no reason why you can't get a bachelor's degree in your first term in the military. There's no reason why you can't get a doctorate degree in 8 to 10 years while in the military. You're learning a particular skill in the military. You're going to school for something totally different because you want to diversify.
Right.
Don't go to school for what you're in the military for. The military teaches you that.
Right.
When I was in aerospace propulsion, I remember my instructor told us day one of school. He said, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to learn you're going to get a 4-year degree in 6 months." And rest assured, we did.
Wow.
But that was a technical, it was application because I was working on aircraft every day. It wasn't I was reading in a book and then I go out and work for Delta later and try to figure it out in another 3 or 4 years.
You had hands-on.
Hands-on. So that's a freebie right there. While you still go to school for something totally different. Let's say you want to be a dentist, you want to be an attorney, or an engineer. Now when you get out of the military, you still have the GI Bill to go to school again. To go into a third profession if you wanted to. So that is the most intelligent way. Now when you get out of the military, you have marketable skills, and you also have veteran preference. When I got out of the military, dude, it was like falling out of the sky. Hey, man, you automatically get ahead of all these college graduates because you served in the military. It's
Right.
a veteran point.
Because not only that, you've had hands on, so they know you're technical versus a book experienced person, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Plus the leadership.
You get leadership, you gain a lot, and that makes sense.
And that's why I would recommend that to our community, not to mention all the other benefits you get out. As far as your VA loan.
Well, it's good to know that, because you think a lot of people in our community would assume that the military is just, oh, we're going to go to war, or oh, you're going to go to this country, or oh, you're going to go to that country. You actually have a choice, and people need to know that. So I'm glad you shared that, because a lot of people just assume, oh, I'm going to go to the military, so oh, I'm going to go fly a plane and drop bombs. No, it's not how that works. I learned that in ROTC, and I hated ROTC, and I learned that much. But yeah, that's pretty good. So people were asking. I was getting to it, so this is pretty cool. Oh, Anitra did mention something that she does, and I wanted to mention that because I think it's very important. It's almost like investing in yourself with your own business. She's in the DC area, and she does mystery shopping. Okay. And for her, she collects a 1099. Of course, it's over $600 from companies, but she said, should she register that as a business with the state or just collect the 1099? Because of course it's over $600, so you have to collect 1099. But for her question, should you, it's Maryland, excuse me, DC, Maryland, same area, but yeah, so should you register her as a business of the state? Should she register as a business in order to extend or expand, or what do you think?
I would. Every state's gonna be different, but pretty much in any state, I would recommend that. Get in touch with your CPA, of course, too, to see what your particular state guidelines will be. But the reason why I say that is because it's easier to establish business credit than personal credit. Right. So when you're doing that through your business credit, it's starting to grow, which means now you can easily apply for personal credit. So on her own, let's say she may have been good for $5,000, $10,000 personal credit, but when she started off with a $25,000 business credit, she can get a $10,000 or $15,000 personal line of credit as well.
Oh, okay.
And that's a whole other dynamic I like to teach people too, is use your credit cards and debit card simultaneously. Use your credit card to pay your regular bills like you would with a debit card, and then at the end of the month, use that debit card to pay back off that credit card.
Gotcha.
So you're getting, if you fly, you get your Delta miles or whatever like that. But also with that, I recommend that she contact her CPA to see if she should take a W-2 for herself. Even though it's 1099, she may want to do what's called a K-1, and then that allows her to be able to pay herself a W-2. And also going a step further, if she have kids. Here's a lot of things about kids.
Babies. Well, not babies, okay. Babies no more, but yeah.
Well, here in Georgia, I know our amount is $6,700 per child that you can pay a salary to.
What?
So my 7-year-old son has a $6,700 a year salary, and I pay him. That's not his business. My son has his own LLC business.
Right.
My daughter has her own.
Yeah,
LLC.
we talked about your daughters. Yeah, absolutely.
So I pay them each $6,700 a piece.
Wow.
For just administrative duties to run my company.
Wow.
And supposedly this year that's supposed to go up double, so it's supposed to be almost $12,000 per child. So that's something I strongly recommend she look into as well, as far as being able to pay her kids a salary, pay herself a salary, while still getting 1099 through.
I need to reach out to her to see if I can do that secret shopping here in Georgia, because
I hear that speaker.
I think it's something that can benefit as a business, just another multiple stream of income. I think that's important. We as a community should always have multiple streams.
Absolutely.
Why do you think I started the show? Kicking back with Jacob. I mean, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Need that. Sponsors, if you want to sponsor me, feel free. I mean, I'm here. Shouting it out to all the world if he's here.
Yes, sir.
But another thing we can talk about here, the stock market. What are your thoughts on investing in the stock market versus just regular businesses, or creating your own business, or do you do both? How do you feel about that?
You have to walk and chew gum at the same time. You got to do them both. It's one thing to make money. A lot of times we say, okay, I'm making good money in my business, but again, money by itself isn't doing anything. You got to grow it. You got to fertilize on it. And the best way to do that is to invest. As a matter of fact, Jay Morrison right here in Atlanta, he just opened his IPO last Wednesday. I jumped on that and took part in that last week on the opening day. Our community, we have to learn how to trust in the stock market, trust in each other. it is something that you have to be knowledgeable on. Don't just jump into money in
right,
way.
right.
Become knowledgeable,
Right.
But you want your learning curve to be as short as possible when it comes to investing. And you know, a lot of times we always think, well, I'll invest in mutual funds or stock, CDs or stuff like that. We have to learn how to get into bigger boy investments. And mutual funds, that's kind of like yesterday news.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Get into bigger things. Getting on the front end of businesses is the beginning. The cannabis industry right now, that's a good industry to invest in. But so many people want to jump straight on the cannabis itself. But you got to get the ancillary items, the containers, the plastic, the lighting, stuff like that.
The proper procedures you need to have a business.
Right.
And I think that's huge. I'll talk to you about that in a whole nother. That's after the show. But yeah, that's something that just creating business for myself, not just in that field. That's something that's coming around the mountain. I feel like in 5 years it'll be next level compared to, it'll be up there with cigarettes. I feel like I truly believe that. I think that the level we're going, people are moving away from cigarettes and moving towards that for not only for recreation but for health benefits. I think that's crucial. Man, it's just it serves such a big purpose and it helps so many different people all over the world. But that's true. But a question that a couple people have here is a lot of the things the tips you have is in any of your books, perhaps?
Yes, especially in all of them, but in the Leaning Forward Towards Success, and that one I cover. That was designed for people who are tired of being in a rat race. They want to be able to get back more time, be able to manage their time better. Because we're always like, look, I'm already busy running a household, trying to run a career. How can I start a business? Well, in that, I will talk to you about different ways of how to be able to burn the candle at both ends and how to increase your net worth.
Okay.
But definitely all of my books, I like to, minus the fitness book, I like to focus on finances.
I'm focused on the fitness book first. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, to answer that question, Leaning Forward Towards Success, that's the information you want to get on that book. How much is that book?
That was $20
for that book. You can get it at SeanJHarris.com. And you can order it that way.
And they can do it direct at thousandfoldpublishing.com.
Okay.
All of the books are on thousandfoldpublishing.com.
Good to know. Okay. Well, they answered that question. I definitely, wanted to get that because they asked that, so I definitely want to. That's important for me. I have you here, so I can pick your brain here and other that, but some people can't. So that's always a good method. Please support them and buy that book. You can get a lot of the information that we're talking about here on there, and that's very important too.
One thing too, if I can mention, I was saying about my son's business.
Absolutely, please.
He has a company called Daddy Did You Know? And with Daddy Did You Know, he came to me one day and he said that, Daddy, do you know what hydrochloro something was? And I was like, yeah, but you tell me though. So he told me, he said, well, that is the absorbent material that's used in items like diapers. So of course I Googled it, and I was like, geez, he's correct. So every day he would come in the room and say, Daddy, did you know? And he would tell me stuff that I didn't know most of the time. So we started a tutorial channel on YouTube, and he came up with an idea, so we came up with financial flashcards.
Can I open it?
Yeah, sure. Those are financial flashcards, and just like our kids.
Knows, I might need you.
Oh yeah, and we they just had an event. Him and my daughter had a vending event this weekend, and we had more adults buy those than kids.
Wow.
And a lot of adults were like, dude, I don't even know these words. So you have like one word on one side, you have a word, and on the other side you have a definition.
So which one do you read one first to get the answer second, or vice versa?
We'll show them the word and let them read the definition. Let them kind of memorize it a little bit, and then after a period of time, you should be to the point where you like with math cards or alphabetical cards, you should just be able to hold up a word, and they should be able to recite back to you what that definition is. And those can be found at daddydidyouknow.com.
Wow, that is incredible.
Those are powerful. Because our kids, they know so many words, they know all the songs.
Yeah, my son is baby Gene. He's 3 years old. He can tell you stuff now.
And they need to be knowing words like that. They need to know what a return on investment is, what a dividend is.
Wow, this is amazing. Small pay performance has to be filled in order to make a withdrawal money from the bank check. Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, those are 20. And that's the first.
I feel like everything's $20. I feel like the whole page is $20. I mean, that's cool, $20. You can get it $20, But do me a favor before I go into the next part.
Yes.
Just so we can get. I'm gonna have you do it again before we're done after trivia. But name. You have 6 books. Run them all to me. Let's get them all out there so people know exactly what we're dealing with.
Okay. We have Leaning Forward Towards Success, where we want to talk. We have K-Lock, Raising a Kidpreneur.
love this.
I have the Ultimate Personal Trainer. We also have 21 steps, 21 day success steps.
Okay.
Also have Economic Power, what we weren't taught. And then the last one I just released is Evaluating Business Systems.
Evaluating. You don't have power until you have economic power. You had that on your website. I thought that was very thought-provoking, so I wanted to mention that too. I think that's really good.
Absolutely.
Moving right along, we got a little bit more time. Any other questions on there? Money. We can talk about this since you have a wife. Money and your significant other. Let's talk about the challenges there. What do you think the biggest challenge is dealing with money and your significant other, where it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, a deep relationship, they ain't married yet, they living together but they're not married. What do you think about that? What do you think the best balance is? I mean, obviously to each his own. What do you think the best financial balance is in your perspective on how to handle that so you can have some success as a couple versus just individual success? Because for me personally, I would never want to be in a relationship where I'm not building mine up to be the best she can be, and she's giving me that same energy back.
Right.
But how do we do that?
Well, both of you have to be rowing in the same direction in the boat. That's the first thing. A lot of times, we tend to think, well, I'm the man, I got to manage all the money or whatever, but it's whoever's the best steward of money should handle those concerns a lot of times.
Gotcha.
If two people are striving for two different careers, at one point, sometimes it makes sense to slow down and speed up. So it may say, you know what, your career is kind of booming a little bit better than mine. Let me pull back just a little bit and let me really focus. Let's put you in high gear.
Okay.
Then let's jump back over here once you have full momentum, and then come back over and let's help me. And then we have two striving, strong forces. Because it's kind of like a Clydesdale. A Clydesdale horse can pull 10,000 pounds alone. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But that's why they put blinders on Clydesdale in particular, because they don't know how many other horses. You put another one next to them, they can pull 60,000 pounds.
All right.
You would think 10,000 pounds, that should be 20,000, but collectively they can pull 60,000. But a lot of times you'll see old farmers who have an old mule on a farm. He'll put blinders on them, and he'll crack the whip, and he'll make all kind of, he'll read out names. All right, Leroy, let's go, Leroy. Come on, Clyde. It's only one donkey there. But collectively, he hear all these other names, and he feel the extra support that he has to pull the plow the way he needs to. So that's the same thing with a couple in finances. If we can focus and get both engines running fast, it doesn't make sense to have a raggedy Ferrari and a mediocre Ferrari operational. Let's get this one Ferrari tip-top condition at good optimal speed. We can go back and put a new transmission or engine in this one and get it up running just as strong as the other one. And we can run down the raceway.
I like the way you put that. Oh, yeah, somebody hit the bell on that one. That's how you do it. I mean, I think that, and I know this one, and we'll go to trivia because I'm running out of time, but I think that that's very important in our communities for us to uplift each other, because we have a lot of women that are really successful in the workplace these days, on whatever level, and they're actually out making the money that the men that they're with or dating, and I'm sure some men get intimidated by it depending on their social stature and what they do. But it's important that you mention that, because regardless where you are, I feel like we should all, if you're going to be a unit, be a unit. Exactly. Don't depend on old standards or old ways to appease what the social standard is.
Right.
If you're gonna build together, build together.
Right.
People say power couples, that's a real thing, but it doesn't have to be power couple to the social world. It's power couple to build your empire privately.
Right.
And I'm glad you spoke on that, because there's a lot of people that probably think that, oh, I'm a woman, I'm independent, I'm making my own money, but at the same time, you should find a man that has that same ambition and build together. If he's behind you, I understand everybody doesn't make the same amount of money, but you can build together and make a whole bunch of money together, if you put it on the right range. So I really appreciate you saying that. So, so that was cool. But again, I thank you for coming in and sharing your wisdom with us. I'm definitely gonna be sponging as much information off of you as I can moving forward. So don't be bugged by me bothering you, because I'm gonna definitely bother you.
No problem.
And thank everybody for tuning in on this subject, What the Wealth. I'm sure I'll be more than happy to have you back pretty soon, after you made your world tours, you and your babies running around doing all these interviews, and I wish you guys nothing but the best on that. So I wanted to make sure I say that before we move forward. Now we're going to do some things the special thing that I do at the end of every show is a trivia game. I host trivia on certain nights of the week. I won't say their names so they start sponsoring me and give me some money. But I sponsor I sponsor on Tuesdays and I sponsor on Thursdays. I host some shows, and that's kind of what got me to doing my own radio show. But
Gotcha.
this trivia is based off of just fun I want to have with my team and people that come in. So now that you're here, you're going to be a player. We have 5 questions. It's 3 points per correct question.
Okay.
You have 3 categories you choose from. The categories entertainment, sports, and wild card. Now, I don't know where they are in there because I totally forget, which I wouldn't tell you anyway because that would give it away.
Gotcha.
But you pick a number, I'll pull it off. We'll get into the trivia portion of the game. I'll play my little music when I get up. You just pick one you want, I'll go grab it for you. We can
Number
just
one.
trivia. Number one, but that's always a good number.
Always.
Let me go ahead and get this for you real quick. Everybody like trivia, especially my sister Nisha, one that actually is a secret shopper. She a trivia head too. She's super smart, so I know she like it. Let's see what we got here. For number one. Number one is was the wild card.
Okay.
So it's gonna be random. Bear with me. I don't know what you know about it, but as random as it is.
All right.
Like I said, you get 3 points per correct answer.
Got
We
it.
get to the bonus round. It's 3 answers. You get 3 points each. You can risk if you want to answer those, or choose not to and keep your points. Grand total 18 points. You can max out. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Some of these are easy. Some aren't. I just pick them out. They're random.
Okay.
All right. Introduced in the 1960s, what Sesame Street character was created to show children that sometimes it is okay to be grumpy?
The Grouch.
Yeah, that's
Oscar.
Yeah,
Oscar the Grouch.
That's correct. Right. All right, move right along. You should know this when you marry. I hope you do. So, you know what? As a matter of fact, I hope your wife's watching it. I hope
She is.
I hope she's watching. Here we go. Traditionally, how many years have a couple been married if they are celebrating their silver anniversary?
50.
What?
Oh, no, I said 25. 25.
I'm only getting him because I'm giving him the point. Because I said, what? He stopped for a minute. He had to think about it.
You know what?
There's an intelligent man there.
When you said that, I think my parents hit 50 years this year. That's what I was thinking about.
Hey, don't look at me. Ma'am, Miss Harris, it's Mrs. Harris, right? Mrs. Harris, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. I'll try to help you out, So if you got to give him a little slack back home, just thank me later, okay? Just thank me later. All right. This is a good one. You should relate to this one too. It's a book question. Dreams from My Father is the autobiography of what U.S. president? Dreams from My Father. I have not read this book, and I'm ashamed, to be honest about it. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Alex, can I get a print year on that one?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. It's been within, I want to say 10 years.
Okay, Barack Obama.
There you go. I need to read that book. I feel like I'm slacking as an individual. I haven't read that book.
I'm slipping too on that.
Just for the sake of it being him. So, yeah, I feel bad about that one. Anyways,
I was looking for Alex Trebek to give me some help on that one.
All right, here we go. Next question. What type of hat with a soft rim and indented crown made popular by gangsters in the Prohibition era was called the single most hated fashion accessory that money can buy?
I don't know the name. I know the hat is the one that Denzel wore in the movie, correct?
Well, that was during that stage, Frank Lucas, yeah. But it was started during the Prohibition era. That's when they first started wearing them. It carried over. It's actually a generational thing. It's carried over to every generation. I think even into this one, if I'm not mistaken. It's carried over.
I don't wear hats.
Fedora is the correct answer. You got that one wrong. Fedora is the yeah. It's buzzer loud too. It's making you feel bad.
I'd rather have jail.
It make you feel. All right, this I don't know how much video games you played, but you should know some of these. I feel like I got faith in you. I got faith in you. Right now, you got 9 points. So
okay.
The highest person, Miss Gwen, she got 9 points. So right now, you're looking at 9 points. So this next one is it's 3 answers. Okay. So you can get 3 points per correct answer. Okay. And here we go. Name 3 of the 6 games released in the 1980s that have been inducted into the Video Game World Hall of Fame?
Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Centipede.
2 out of 3. That's not bad. Give him the Anitra always do well. That's my sister. She played because she's a baby. You got 2 out of 3.
Okay.
But the answers was Pac-Man, Tetris, Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, John Madden Football, and Super Mario Brothers.
I don't know how to make that one.
Super Mario, I think everybody plays Super Mario Brothers, but you got 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That ain't bad. That puts you at, what is that, 18? If I'm not mistaken, I put him at 18 points. 18, yeah. 18, that's cool. It's going to be a long way. It's going to be a tough score to beat. 18 on trivia, that's good. But, no, it's not asteroids, V. Sorry. I'm not going to give you the buzzer, V, because he got 2 out of the 3. But again, make sure you hit up sanjayharris.com. He has, name the cards again for me?
Financial flashcards.
Financial flashcards. These are good for, I mean, everybody can use these. Let's be clear about this. This is not just for kids. I think you can really benefit for this. As well as all 6 of his books, the 2 released ones, check them out. Like I said, SeanJHarris.com. Some of the other sites where you can buy them directly as well.
ThousandfoldPublishing.com.
ThousandfoldPublishing.com.
And I'm also offering for anyone who email and put in the subject economic power to SeanJHarrisSpeaks@gmail.com. They'll get a free copy of the Economic Power book.
Oh, hey, I'm giving you plugs here, people. I'm giving you plugs. Go on Facebook, follow Sean J. Harris, follow Sean J. Harris Speaks. Make sure you follow and kick it back with Jessico. If you're watching, you should be anyways. Make sure you catch those. We can do all of those. Make sure we'll give you the winner of Meme of the Week. Obviously, next week we'll give you the Meme of the Week on next week's show. Again, Mr. Harris, I thank you for coming in and being great help, man. I hope to have you back soon. We can talk again soon.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for kicking back with me. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. I will see you next week. Be safe, be good to each other, and remember, if you can't be good, goddammit, be good at it, all right? Peace and love.
The biggest station in the world, with all of today's hits. Listening to Instinct Radio.
Another good one, man. Another good one.